They were yelling at us immediately. They were like, get off the bus. Like, they were like snatching people's duffel bags. Then they was like, everybody has to like put them in a line. They're like, if y'all don't stack these up in a perfect pyramid, it was like everybody's getting smoked. They were like, what does smoke even mean? They were like, well, trust me, you don't want to find out. We are super excited to have you guys on this episode today.
You kind of do got to step out on faith, love traveling.
Believe you have it, then you will achieve it. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to the den. It's your favorite homegirls, Sheree
And Alieshia.
We are super excited for y'all to be here because today is Wednesday. So as y'all know, we always air our episodes for our wind down girlies. So 2 days ago was Veterans Day. So we're just going to be honing in on that because as y'all know, the saying goes, freedom ain't free. So we're definitely going to be tapping into that in this episode. So yeah, as y'all know, we always start out with the segment. So we kind of want to do things a little bit different than we did in the past. If y'all been following along with us, we always talk about win of the week. So we talked about our alphas that we showcase. So now we're going to give homage to like women that have pretty much served in the military. Do you have anybody specifically that you want to shout out that's a veteran?
Yes, my father.
Okay.
He's not a girl. But shout out to all the women who are veterans. Technically, I know some people who are soldiers right now, so shout out to them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But yes, my father, I would say he's a veteran, so shout out to him. Shout out to all the women that I know that are past veterans. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, same. I was like, I know a lot of women in my family have served as well. They've been either in the Army or the Air Force. I don't know about Coast Guards or Marines, but yes, we have had a lot of Army heads, including myself.
Yes. That's why I was like, oh, this is a good idea, like, to pay homage to the veterans, you know, when it's election season. So, like, they fought for our freedom. People like us fought for our freedom. So,
yes,
you know, just honoring them and saying Happy Veterans Day. Because if you did not know, a cringe of mine is veterans are usually still alive. You don't say Happy Memorial Day. This is just a PSA for when Memorial Day comes.
Right.
Memorial Day is not happy. So if you want to say Happy Veterans
Day. That makes sense because they're still here. So it's like give them their flowers while they're still here.
Yeah, so shout out to my daddy. Happy Veterans Day, Dad.
Yeah, and happy shout out to my dad as well because he was also a veteran. So, well, is a veteran.
Yeah, so he's still alive.
Yes. So, I kind of wanted to just, tap into this because as you said, the election just passed. So we don't know who won at this moment in time. But I kind of want to ask you before we really get into that part of it, what does freedom mean to you?
That's a great question. Freedom means to me the opportunity to do whatever I want to do. So that literally what is freedom, liberty, justice. So I did go vote, but at a certain point in time, we weren't even able to vote. One, because we're women and because we're black. So I think that it is important that we know that we always didn't necessarily have freedom. So it's like, basically use it, use your freedom to do whatever you want to do, just how people use their privilege. So to me, freedom is just, one, it should be a right to anybody. Right. And then two, is just like something that you get to do. Like you don't think about it. Like I'm free to do whatever I want. I have no thought or no recollection like, oh, should I do this or oh, should I do that? So yeah, I think freedom to me just means opportunity to just explore and just navigate how I want to live my life.
Okay, that's a great answer. Yeah, I think freedom to me is not having restrictions. Like there's really limited boundaries. When I think of freedom, I literally think of the First Amendment, which is part of our civil rights, which is the freedom to religion, freedom of speech, freedom, of genderality and stuff like that. So that's what I'm thinking of because everyone complains about like the American society, but they don't know how privileged they are or how privileged we are compared to other countries because there's other countries that they cannot exercise their right to a certain religion. They cannot claim to be another sex. So they cannot claim to, do other things of that nature and really stand up for themselves. So I really think that's freedom to me. And as you said, like, we really want to pay homage to it because back then, after like the Civil War and stuff like that, black women or specifically black people just did not have rights, period, to vote or anything like that. They really had to earn it. And so, yeah. Yeah,
I don't think Americans know how much, like, freedom they have. And to your point, some women don't even have, like, kind of rights in their countries and stuff like that. Right. Or they're under this, like, even thinking about it, women couldn't even vote. Now, don't quote me on the year because I can't remember, but it was just a little bit before the 2000s. Like, we couldn't even vote. We couldn't even get a house without a man. Couldn't even get a paycheck. So to think about that now and how it's changed,
right,
is really interesting. Like, just think about if you was not able to work, if you was not able to buy a house, like those are freedoms that we don't think about, but those weren't that long ago that us as women were able to do that.
Right.
And that's only because we vote.
Yes.
So voting is important. So, use your right. Okay, vote.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, even when it comes to like the major political debate, with the presidency and stuff like that, you still want to go out and vote because, you have your local jurisdictions that you want to have your city councilmen in, about your governors, about congressmen that are local and stuff like that. So it's really important for you to tap into your district and know who is running for your state, so you can know who are these people that are making these legislative decisions.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody thinks it's the president. So like, no, it's like local is really important. So that is also good.
Correct. So with that being said, we don't want to talk too much about the political side of it. I mean, we might tap back into it, but we really wanted to get on here because we're both from military backgrounds. Alieshia and I have different experiences. She came from an actual true Army brat setting. Like, she moved around a lot. I did not as much, but I actually joined the Army, National Guard specifically. So we're going to kind of talk about our personal stories with that. So would you like to go to first? Like, what was the most challenging thing as being an Army brat?
That's a great question. The most challenging thing, I guess, I necessarily didn't really know I was an Army brat till I kind of got older. Like, I didn't really know till I got in high school. But I guess the most challenging thing I would say is I am and I was a daddy's girl. So maybe like my daddy like leaving, he like went to Iraq, Afghanistan, Korea and stuff like that. So I had a close relationship with him, and so maybe that was probably one of the toughest
just being
things.
able to not really see your father, and he's pretty much was gone a lot. Yeah, I could see that. And I think you said too, like, you moved around a lot, so you went to like what, 3 or 4 different schools throughout your journey, or was it more or less?
In high school I went to 2 different schools, and that's really about it. Like, I moved a lot, but I moved a lot when I was younger. So I moved like under age 5 a lot.
Oh, okay.
So that's when like I moved to Virginia, I moved to New York, then I moved to Iowa, and I stayed there for a long time. So I didn't move in that time. That was just the normal, like, I went from elementary to middle school.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so then when I got to high school, that's when I moved twice from different places. So yeah, I've lived in like 5 or 6 different states.
Phew.
Yeah, but
That's a lot.
I didn't move schools until I moved here now from high school.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But even still then, moving around as much as that at a young age, I feel like that kind of impacts a child, because it's like once you get used to a certain environment, friends and everything, you're there for like a few years, like what, 2-3 years, and then boom, you got to go somewhere else. It's like,
that was high school. I feel like that impacted my high school journey, and that's why I feel like high school to me, like, I don't know, like, I don't really think I enjoy high school. That's why I think I like college a lot more. I watched it because, like the first year, everybody's new. So
right.
I went to a military school. But a lot of them already knew each other because they've been here for a little while. So it's like, okay, I meet some new people. I talk to people. Then the next year, people graduate, people leave. And then I know some people. But then I moved to a high school that people have been going to school with since first grade. So then it's like, okay, well, now I'm forgetting the friends that I knew 2 years ago. Now it's my junior year. Now I have to make new friends all over again.
Right.
And I don't know if people are really that friendly. I would say it's different. When I went to military school, people are more friendly. And
versus like a public school.
Yeah. Because everybody's new. They talk to people, whatever. Versus when I went to high school, my junior year, people was already clicked up and stuff like that. So I had to like go out of my way to like talk to people and stuff like that, and to meet people, talk to people in class, but they already had their friends and stuff like that. So I feel like that was kind of hard.
Right.
And I was only there for 2 years. Then I went off to college, so it's like I don't even talk to people who I went to high school with from freshman, sophomore year, or even probably junior, senior year.
Yeah, because I mean, you came into a whole new environment. It's like you was there for a quick little second.
Yeah.
So it's like you build up a friendship and then boom, you're gone, So I think it's a little bit different as a kid because you might be disconnected versus if you were in college, you probably could have stayed in contact with them on your own accord.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, because I had friends from first grade. I had friends from middle school. But then that's when Facebook started. But then you're like, you don't really know what Facebook is and you can't even really have one. So it's like I added them on Facebook, but I didn't really know. So now I lost a whole bunch of friends from middle school because I moved to a whole nother state. And like you have phones, but you don't use phones like that. Like you don't talk on the phone like that or do stuff like that. So I feel like that's kind of the trajectory. So I feel like that could have been kind of hard too. Like really honing in on friendships, and that's why I feel like I value them so much more because it's really hard to like find friends and good friends and navigate that. So that's what I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think from my experience, you know, when my dad was in the military, he joined in '87, and then he got it officially, I think like 2003, 2004, something like that. But he was a National Guard, so I don't think he even had to deal with the Iraqi war around that time. He was already in Guard at that point. But what was I going to say? After we moved from Fort Riley, Kansas to Kentucky, then after that, he really didn't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he had already went to like Mexico. I think he was stationed in like maybe Texas or something and somewhere else before he came out here. So he already kind of did his transitional stuff. Like even when he met my mom, like, in Kansas, obviously, before I was really born. So I didn't get a chance to like explore different cities and states and stuff like that.
But your mom's not from Kansas, right?
No, she's from here. So they met in Fort Knox.
Oh,
and then they moved around, and then they came back again. Like he got in the Guard, and that's the reason why he came back.
Yeah, I feel like that too. Though I feel like that as well. I feel like my brothers got to experience more, and my dad he left like. And then, who's...
Because they're older than you, though.
Yeah, like, who's going to the war? Nobody. But, like, they got to live in Germany. They got to... Well, I was born in, like, Washington State. So, they got to see Washington State. They got to see New York. I remember New York and Virginia. I do remember it a little bit. I remember New York a little bit more than Virginia. But, yeah, so they got to go to Germany, which was so kind of cool, you know?
Oh, yeah. Germany would have been so cool to go to.
Yeah, so it's like, but if it was, like... If I was at the age, like, because I know some people who live in Germany and who live in Japan. So it's like, dang, if I was like that age, I could have had much more cool memories or something like that, you know? So.
Yeah, definitely. My mom lived in Germany, I think, for 3 years when she was like 8 to 11. And she remembers it vividly.
Yeah.
And she was like, it was so much different over there than it was here. She like cried her eyes out coming back to the U.S. Like she did not miss it at all. Not at all. But, yeah, so... With that being said, I feel like one of the reasons why I joined the military was because it kind of went to suit with my family history. And I think we talked about this before on the podcast when we were trying to see what we wanted to do after we got out of college and stuff like that. You know, I was just lost in the sauce. Like, I wasn't getting no jobs. Like, I was putting my resumes in on Indeed. I had, like, a LinkedIn back then. Wasn't really getting no hits. But when I did find a job, it wasn't really paying well. So I was like, I feel like I need to do something more fulfilling. So funny enough, my best friend, Alieshia and I, we were trying to join the military together. We had studied for the ASVAB and everything. This was like back in like 2014, I think. 2014, 2015. And basically... we were studying stuff like that, and then we were like, oh, let's join the Navy. I don't know why we said Navy for some reason. I don't know what idea gave us to join the Navy. But, yeah, so basically she didn't end up joining, and I did actually go to the ceremony and stuff like that. I was trying to become a Master's of Arms, and I think when I was there, basically... it turns out they really didn't have a duty station in Louisville. I think I was going to have to end up going to like Illinois or something like that. So my mom was like, oh no. She was like, you don't have to go to drill like 4 hours away or something like that. She was like, just get out. She was like, have you already swore under oath or anything? And I was like, at this point, baby, is it legal? And she was like, don't make me come up there. She was like, that was the thing. I was like, cause I thought I was just going to, hear more about it. Like, I didn't know I was about to swear under oath. And just for the record, if you do swear under an oath, you can actually, like, revoke it. At least back then, I think you could. You have really, like, 180 days after you swear under an oath, like, legally. After that, that's it for you. You either serve or,
what?
You might have to deal with some criminal consequences.
Oh, my gosh.
Or something like that. Yeah. So... I mean, getting out of the military once you join is really, really hard, actually. It has to be, like, through medical or maybe, like, some criminal reasonings why to get out, like, to get discharged. Like, and then you're going to get a dishonorable discharge if you do go that route. Because I know some people, off topic, smoked weed specifically so they would get kicked out, like get a positive drug test. But it's still not easy. It's not like, oh, we just kick you out. Like you're committing like a UMCJ and like they have to still go through the chain. So it could take 6 additional months to a year past that. So you're still coming to the drill, still doing what you have to do until you get kicked out. And you're still going to get a dishonorable discharge.
Well, you can't terrible. Just be like, I quit.
No. You have to stay in and do your contract.
Oh, yeah. You have a contract.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's the difference. I don't know if I think the military is a career, but I feel like it sets you up for it to be a career. Mm-hmm. With how they do it, how they rank and stuff like that. But yeah, that's true. You have to do contracts. But I don't know how long your contract is, so that's why I'm like, do you just renew it?
It depends on like what you want to do. Like mine was only 3 years. I went the smart route because I asked them like what was the lowest. And at first they tried to say 6. My dad, well, that's back to my point of when I was trying to join the Navy, you know, they really didn't have a position in Kentucky for me to join. So my mom was like, no, like don't even join them. So I left and everything like that. So basically, I think it was like not even 3 weeks or a month later, I went ahead and went the National Guard route. And my dad went with me to the recruiter. He was like, they're not going to play with you, get you into like a 6 or 8 year contract. He was like, I know you can only, he was like, I'm pretty sure you can still just do 3 if you want. So my dad sat there with me the whole entire time. You know, the guy was like, I guess he was astonished because he thought, because, you know, sometimes when they get like younger people, they think, oh, we're going to just like.
6 years is like, I just do 6 years.
Yeah. And my dad was like, no, my daughter only wants to do 3. So he was like, okay, that's cool. He was like, I didn't know you knew about it. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, I am a veteran. So he was like, okay. He was like, I understand. So I think the recruiter at the time, he was cool and everything, but he was like, damn, like she brought her dad, like they mean business. I was like, yeah, I don't know about this Army stuff, like, you know, the contracts, like what I'm getting myself into. I said, no, I want somebody here with me that has experience and has the knowledge of it, that lived, slept, and breathed that type of lifestyle, you know? So yeah, that's pretty much how I joined the Army, because at first I was going to be a Navy head. Funny thing is, after I got out, the Navy contacted me to get back, join them again.
Oh, really?
I said, no, sir. I don't want to go back in. I'm done and one and
done.
So that's kind of like my little backstory. I became an NP. And hopefully I'm not disrespectful to anybody, because I know I have my PC on. It's not PCing right now. Because my head is so big. I don't know if it's because of the wig or what. It's not fitting like it used to. I think it's because of the wig, though.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, they don't be liking to wear hair, so I'm out of uniform. But I have this on. Shout out to the camouflage.
Yes, I like the camo jacket.
Thank you, yes. I feel like I'm in the military right now because I got short nails because they don't be letting you do it. But now I feel like they're being more relaxed.
They are.
With their hair and stuff like that, because they need people to come in.
Exactly. Yeah, back then they were just very intrinsic on what you would wear and like how you would wear your hairstyle. I think back then they got a little bit more lenient, but not really. They were still holding on to their traditional values. You know, if I was there, like my nails couldn't be this long. They had to be shorter. Couldn't have designs. They had to be very plain Jane. No unnatural hair colors. Makeup had to be a minimum.
That's rude.
Yeah.
That's not freedom.
Exactly.
But you're fighting for freedom.
Yep. So I think now, like you said, they have gotten a little bit more lenient on this generation, because even when I was in, they were saying it was like a soft generation because, you know, we had privilege to our phones and stuff like on the weekends, not in real basic training, but once we got to AIT, that's when we got more privilege. So I was there for like a total of almost 6 months in Fort Leonard Wood, Fort Lost in the Woods, if some of y'all are familiar with it. But I think overall the journey was cool. I went in a very cold period of time. I got off the bus at like, I want to say like 4 or 5 in the morning or something like that. And as soon as we got there, like they were yelling at us immediately. Like as soon as I got there, they were like, get off the bus. Like they were like snatching people's duffel bags. Like they threw them on the ground. Then they was like, everybody has to like put them in a line. They're like, if y'all don't stack these up in a perfect pyramid or something crazy like that, they was like, everybody's getting smoked. They were like, what does smoked even mean? They were like, well, trust me, you don't want to find out. So everybody's scrambling. It's like 200 people, just all these soldiers just scrambling, cold as hell. Like when I say Missouri gets snow, baby, they get snow out there. And it was just terrifying. But I think after like the first month, I got kind of acclimated. I was like, okay, these drill sergeants are really not all like people make them think. Like, yes, they yell, yes, they're tough, but the whole point is they really want to break you down so they can build you back up. So,
and I don't like that. That's why I never went to the military, because I'm not waking up at 4 or 5 or nothing to do.
Oh,
no
my
PT,
God.
to run, to do what? No, I
don't think
sleep.
I ever got a full 8 hours of sleep when I was there the full 6 months. I never got it. I think at most
AIT was 6 months.
So it was 3. I think basic training, I think it might be like 2 or 3, and then AIT is like 3. Some people break it up, but I was like, no, I want it all done out the way.
All together, yes. Yeah.
No, but drill sergeants didn't really make me startled like that, because I was like, baby, I'm so used to my mama yelling. Like a drill sergeant be like, get in this room and do that, go take the trash out. So I was like, this don't even really faze me like that for real. But I would say the women drill sergeants, whoo, child, the female ones, they were on it. Like, they definitely did not play compared to the men. I don't know if it was because they felt like they had more to prove, but I had one that was like, she was like part Mexican and black or something like that. Anytime she came around, people was like, oh, here comes drill sergeant, da da da. I don't remember her name, but she did not play. But it turns out like she kind of was put on a persona, you know, a little bit too, because in reality she was actually like really cool. It came out to be. So.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I'm like, do they lose their voices when they get home?
I don't even know. I'm like, how can I consistently just yell like that all day long?
Literally. And they talk about that, like, people who have this, you know, type of these titles and stuff like that. And it's like title or passion. It's like, I don't really care about titles, but like in the military, that is something that's literally big. And it's just like, but why are we yelling at people? Why are we making it like, oh, we should be scared and fearful of these people? Just like with titles, like people are people at the end of the day. And so that's kind of where I don't really, you know, like agree with it. Because why are you yelling at me, telling me to wake up at 5 a.m. to run, to do this, to do that? I can't. So I didn't go the route, but shout out to the soldiers.
And that's true, because I feel like people that have a higher rank kind of have higher egos in some senses. But as I learned there, they say the rank does not make the man makes the rank. So it's like, if you're going to be a drill sergeant or be someone that's like an officer or someone that's like a sergeant major, you need to make sure you are doing everything you can in that position to fulfill that stature, because at the end of the day, you are superior over other soldiers and they look up to you. Essentially, you're a leader. So
that's true.
That's one of the main things that I learned. So, do you have anything else about like your military experience?
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't go to the military, but I will say some things that I learned. I feel like, because of course, as we see it, my dad was in the military, so I feel like what I learned maybe from that is I'm a very like structured person. Like, time is structured, because like that's literally how it is. My dad's like, okay, get up, clean up, do this, do that, or whatever. So like, I feel like that reflects in my life. I feel like the traveling, I just embrace it because I travel so much. So like, it's second nature to me to travel so much, and I can get out of my comfort zone easier.
Right.
So I feel like those are some things that are like good to have that military background. And then also, I mean, let's talk about it. The benefits are good because you didn't have to pay for it. You know, health insurance, stuff like that, like, you know, your parents pay for it or whatever, use all your parents' stuff. So that was good. I feel like, what else did I learn? I learned that, I mean, I didn't want to go to the military, but I learned that it's cool to meet different people. Like, when I went to my high school, like, you meet people, you meet like a diverse population. Like, you meet Asians, Mexicans, Koreans, like, you meet so many different people, because the military like brings it in together, like brings people in together, like the community. And I would say, like, when you are a part of, I forgot what they're called, units, like my dad was part of units, so then you like go to different events, you meet their families, you go to Christmas or dinners or whatever, like they have organizational days. I did that when I was younger too. So
did you ever go to like a military ball?
When I didn't go to a military ball, no, because I wasn't in ROTC, but they did have military balls before, and my parents used to go to them. So yeah, but they would have like organizational days where it's like, oh, bring your kid to work or something like that. They would have like family things like that. So I did that, but no, I never been to a military ball, but I've seen pictures and different things like that. So yeah, I think that it was a different experience. I feel like I also learned that To a certain extent, I feel like I kind of lived a more privileged life than some other people, because when I moved to Kentucky, like, I met people who never even left Kentucky. I met people who never even left their city and stuff like that. So I'm like, so I feel like my view on the world is different. My perspective on the world and seeing people and meeting people and just being this person that's like culturally aware and like self-aware and different things like that. I feel like I only had that perspective because of what I've been exposed to. And I have to understand that everybody hasn't been exposed to the things that I've been exposed to.
Right.
So I think that that is something that I also learned to as well. And then, I would just say different things like that. Oh, and then also there is some perks with being veterans, are being like kids of veterans. We went to Beyonce and for $15.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Vet Tickets.
Okay, yes, Vet
Tickets. If y'all want to
Tickets.
sponsor us in the future,
period. We are proud veteran children, and she's
yes.
And then even when I was younger, like, I don't know, I was a fan of kind of WWE. My brother watched it, but we went to like a Raw or SmackDown or something like that where we lived. Went to a couple of concerts, and then. Yeah, so it's like sometimes you just get different.
You know what? I did that too. They came to the Armory. They did a free circus at my dad's unit, and then they also had like wrestlers come in as well. Yeah.
When I was in Korea, actually, I met Lloyd Banks and Olivia.
Oh,
yeah, when they
cool.
went and had a concert there. I remember I met like James Fortune, Kiera Shear, Kirk Franklin. Like they had a concert actually at Fort Knox. So, you know.
Me too. I went there. I didn't go to that concert, but me and my friends, we went to see Bone Crusher. They had Silk there, Omarion. That was like the first concert I ever went to. It was 14. And so I felt really privileged because I was like, some people don't get to go to concerts until they're kids, like adults, you know.
Yeah, and I was like, I've been to concerts when I was a kid.
And it was free.
Yeah, okay. So I think some of those things are like perks of it, and being able to expose and see it. And like, people are always going to be like, oh yeah, I remember when I was like walking my dad. I don't know. I guess he had his uniform. They're like, oh, thank you. I'm like, Dad, what are they saying thank you for? And he's like, oh yeah, because I served for the military. I didn't really know what he did. I just, you know, he goes there, he does that, whatever. But it is kind of something bigger than yourself. I would also never go there because... No, I'm not fighting for a country that didn't fight for me. That's that answer. But also it's like, okay, like you're doing something for the greater good out of yourself. You're providing for your family. You're helping. And I just think it's a way to, you know, I guess like motivate, but show like there's different things that you can do in this world and stuff like that. So all in a nutshell, that's what I learned.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I want to say thank you to my dad because he really did teach me a lot. I think he still teaches me a lot now because he's just Army head thinking through. He's got out and been in other careers, like he was a truck driver and a correctional officer. No, still has that military's mindset to this day.
Yeah, shout out to my daddy. Hey, he does have a military mindset. He's like, you think I want to go to the military? Well, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing anything I don't want to do.
Yeah, your dad definitely gives me Army person, like when I met him for sure. He kind of resembles my dad Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he was a sergeant major, so he wants to know. He's like, I got the top.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he was.
I think my dad got to be like an E7 or E8 or something like that. The highest he went. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and but my dad was in for like 30 years, so I was like, well, what's that? Yeah, he was in for a long time. That's why I was like, I don't know how the contract work or whatever, but yeah, he retired, so now he gets his benefits and everything like that. And so yeah, so he loves it. But I'm like, you know, I might could marry me a military man so I could travel. But I can't be in there, so
yeah.
If you're a military man, you looking to get married? I'm just playing. I need that tri-care, okay?
Well, I don't know about that for me, because that was back when I was younger. I was like, maybe not now at this big age, but I tried to date the Army guys. They turned out to be the biggest hoes that I ever dealt with.
But what do they?
Exactly, that's true. At least you have a hoe with some benefits.
Okay, y'all be having with no benefits. Okay,
So yeah, I was like, by the time I go get my house, I'm gonna definitely be looking for the no down payment, trying to get my VA benefits.
I'm like, and there's
I already got approved for my loan, so
that's what I was gonna say too. Money, like when it comes to schooling, baby, I was balling in college. Do you hear me? I don't know what I'm doing now, but I was balling. When you go to school, you get that check, baby, that GI Bill.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. I'm going shopping. I'm going out. Where does money come from? I don't know, but I'm spending it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like your daddy. He fought for it, so.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I know the election has already passed. At this point, the winner has already seceded out to our society. We don't know who it is. honestly, I would say I hope that you guys went out there and voted.
Tell us who you voted for below.
If they want to, definitely. So with the election, because I know at this point in time we don't know who won. What are you wanting to see, like, from the new presidency? Like, what's something that really stands out to you? I know we kind of talked about it before. Like, you're really big on like women's rights.
Mm-hmm. I definitely am big on women's rights, and I am big on the education. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I don't really, nowadays I'm just like, you live and you do what you do. I don't even know if I'm really focused so much on like what the president is going to be doing. Mm-hmm. It's just like, okay, whoever the president is going to be, the president is going to be. Right. And it's just like, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. If you really know me, I'm trying to move out the country. Okay,
that's true.
So I like, it's going to affect it, but I'm just like, either way, whoever gets it, because we don't know. But if Donald Trump get it or Kamala get it, like, either way, they're going to have their own agenda. Something's going to happen or it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, what can we really do if we don't have those people that are in those like spaces or whatever?
I'll say if Donald Trump don't get it, he might be going to go to prison, but
okay, and that's where he belongs for real. Like, yeah. That's the whole thing is like, how do you have an educated person who's done this stuff? And they say like Kamala sent people to jail, Well, that was her job. Okay, mm-hmm. So that was her job. But then Donald Trump, he's over here.
So did Joe Biden.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about, they were talking about like before.
Yeah. Biden did too before he became president.
Oh, yeah,
he
was
a senator, so.
And he sent people to jail too. But it's like, there's only so much disrespect that you could take from somebody. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Donald Trump is like, he's getting charged, but it's like, it's kind of like money over morals. Mm-hmm. Like, where's the morals, where's the values? And that it could be something that we're getting away from in this country. But it's just like, how much more? If he gets it again and he's supposed to be, going to prison or something like that, it's like, what does that show to the country? What does that show to the world on one hand? Right. But then also it's like, okay, if we do get Kamala, it is going to be great. We're going to have a first black woman president. But then, like I said, is she going to be held to a higher standard? Or what else? What is she going to be able to pass? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I really don't know her policies, and I don't really know anything about like what's going on because she came at like a later time, mm-hmm. Within it. And so, but with Donald Trump, he's like trying to get rid of like education or something like that. The Department of Education and like doing all this private school and public school, and it's just like that's getting crazy. Private and public school are like, mm-hmm. let people choose how they do it because y'all don't want to protect the kids and stuff. So I just think that whatever we see, we need to see prices go down. Right. Inflation is crazy right now. Yes. And so it's like, when are we going to get to, they don't care to help the regular model citizen. Exactly. So it's like, at this point, putting hope in the president in the future, it's really hard to even say which one's going to do whatever. And so that's really how I feel about it. I don't really know if I have hopes and dreams. I'm just like, okay, let's just get through it. Whoever wins, and let's go. There are definitely
pros and cons on both sides of the fence. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So
what I guess. Think?
Oh well, I think that, like you said, really whoever's going to win is out of our control, and I just think that hopefully the greater good happens for the country in its totality, because so many things have happened over like the last decade, from Bill Clinton being in office to Obama, Trump, and then now it could be Kamala. I think that some instances people are really scared of Donald Trump got into the office because there's a lot of immigrants in this country, and they're just like, well, how do we fit in now? Like, they're going to try to run us out or something like that. So I do feel for them, but also see from that Republican side of view of like, we're tax-paying citizens and stuff like that, and there's so many limitations and things that we don't even have access to. So I just think that hopefully we can get more economic values. Like you said, so many things have inflated over the years, and I want to see some changes with that, and also want to see some changes with the educational system, because kids are our future. So if they don't have a good education system to follow by, it's like, what's the point, Mm-hmm. So I think that's like the biggest thing for me. And yeah, I definitely think women's rights are for sure a big thing as well. I think they should be able to do what they want with their own bodies, as here nor there. Some people have opposing views to it. So, yeah, I think that's overall how I feel about it.
Yeah, and I think that's so interesting because I feel like, I mean, I don't know if you say you're Republican or Democrat or whatever, but I feel like this conversation is interesting because coming from a military background, you know, military people are more Republican.
Yeah.
And whatever it goes, I don't even know why they are Republican. I don't really know that. But it
might be because of the traditional values or something. I don't know.
Neither do I, but then it's like, okay, well, you didn't watch Love is Blind, but recently, like, this girl, she was on Love is Blind. She was, like, military, but then this guy, like, didn't agree with it or whatever, so they're like, well, y'all aren't compatible. But it's interesting because it's like, okay, on one hand, people are Republican, maybe because they are military or they do have that background, but then on another hand, it's like, okay, morally, what do you think? Is it, do you think you're Democrat more because, like, you see the greater good of what you want to better for the people, or is it just better, you know, businesses and economics and stuff like that? So yeah, so I think that's interesting too, that military people lean more to Republican, but I don't know, because I feel like sometimes, I feel like when they get out, I feel like more people are more Democrat.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think they hold on to the same values as they were in. They become like a little bit more liberal, and they kind of see like, we need some democracy, okay? Like some freedom, like actual freedom. So yeah, definitely. But hopefully you guys did go out and vote. So that's part of your right. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, let us know in the comments below as well. And also too, we were in a blog, so with her homegirl chilling with Leslie, so she shouted us out. So big ups to her.
Just go check that out.
Yes, and then also tune into our previous episode where we had our homegirls from Honest Conversations on. We were talking about the struggles of dating as Black single women, part 2. Yes. So, yes, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. So, as y'all know, as we always end our segments with a little game, so we thought that we would play travel trivia because it kind of goes with the theme. So, I'm going to let Alicia pick a card, and I'm going to pick a card. We're going to ask questions, see if we get them right.
What is the world's southernmost capital? A, Santiago, Chile. B, Wellington, New Zealand. C, Buenos Aires, Argentina. D, Melbourne, Australia.
Southernmost capital. Ooh. You said Santiago, Chile. And what was the next one after that?
B, Wellington, New Zealand.
New Zealand? I don't think that's like really south. I know it's hot there. It's kind of by, is it by Australia? Okay, so Australia was on there, New Zealand. What was the other country? Argentina. Argentina is below Chile, I think.
I just know it's in South America.
Or is Chile below Argentina? Child, I don't even know. My geographical senses are off right now. And it could even be one of Australia or New Zealand. So I'm trying to think of where they are on the world. Where's the world at? Just over there.
Oh, you cannot cheat.
I know. I feel like I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to just say Chile.
No.
I figured I was going to get it wrong. What is it?
It's New Zealand.
New Zealand. Okay.
The world's southernmost. You know what New Zealand, Australia is? Chile and them, it's South America. South America's over here.
Right.
Australia and New Zealand.
It's like below.
Yeah, like down here. So it's
okay, so it's like, I think Australia and New Zealand, like, do you have like Asia and then like next to Africa and then it's Australia like next to it? Like
yeah, but it kind of wraps around.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, so it's, yeah.
I should have thought of that. Okay, this one is, what continent is free of snakes? A, Asia. B, Europe. C, South America. D, Antarctica.
Well, hopefully it's Antarctica.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's too damn cold there for some snakes.
Okay, I'm like, okay. I was like,
that's why I said that one's easy.
Yeah, snakes. Yeah, where are they going to be at?
Right.
Slytherin.
Yes. Do you want to do another one?
I mean, we can if you want to.
Okay.
All right. No.
That one was a little bit easy.
You said what?
New Zealand.
Now I don't want to get a hard one now.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Oof, I don't know if you're going to get this one.
Oh, God. All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
What is the only country in the world to not have a rectangular or square flag? A. Mozambique. B. Nepal. C. Switzerland. D. Somalia.
What was A again?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Nepal?
Nepal, India. Is that saying that? Or it doesn't have the countries on there?
No, that would be the country, Nepal.
Oh, Nepal is the country.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it. It might be Nepal. It's Nepal.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that was the country name. Thought it was in India. So it's saying which country which doesn't have a
rectangular or square flag. So they have another shape basically as their flag.
I have no idea, but
the first one is Mozambique.
I'm gonna guess that one.
Nope, it is Nepal.
Nepal?
Yeah.
Let me see how it's spelled. Oh, Nepal.
Now I want to see what the Nepal flag. What would you be calling Napoleon?
Is it India?
I don't know what country does. I don't know what country Nepal is. I don't even know if I've heard of it.
I have heard of it. That's why I thought it's in Indonesia.
It's a landlocked country in South Asia.
Yeah, it has to be.
Oh, their flag is like this.
Oh, I would have never guessed that.
Let us know if y'all would have guessed that. Look how their flag is. It's like 2 triangles. Isn't that so cool? It's the only country in the world to not have a rectangular square flag. That's cool.
Interesting fact.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Me either.
It says, what is the tallest mountain in Europe? Mount Blanc, Mount Elbrus, Ushba, Tetnaldi.
Ma'am, can you repeat all of them? Because I couldn't even understand the names.
That's why I said this is hard. Mount Blanc, Mount Elbrus, Ushba, Tetnaldi.
Mount Elbrus?
That's your answer?
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
How did you know?
I actually have heard of Mount Elbrus as being one of the tallest mountains in the world.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was like, I guess it gave it away because it was mountain, but
yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
Really?
No, I don't even know what these words are.
Oh, let me see how they're spelled.
Ushba, I said, child, is it in another country?
Yeah, I've heard of Mount Elbrus, but the other ones, no, I have not.
Nope. Okay,
well, I guess 1 for 1.
Literally, nope. Well, let us know if you've heard of those, because I have not.
I hadn't heard of the other ones, but Mount Elbrus, yes. So, as y'all know, we also still have our wine glasses and our mugs.
Yes, 15% off your first order. Get you one. Link in the description.
So, as y'all know, we are always going to be able to be found on Spotify, Apple. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, but we air episodes on YouTube.
Yes. Shout out. We reached 213 subscribers. So shout out to you. Thanks for subscribing.
Yes.
Hopefully you're watching this. We have like over 300 downloads on Podbean. So if you're listening to this, thank you so much. You on YouTube or you're downloading it, whichever. Or if you're doing both, shout out to you. Okay, period.
And also, too, make sure y'all leave us a review. So we really appreciate that. If you can leave us one on Apple or leave us one on Spotify or something. Because we love to give out our listeners shout outs.
And, sign up for our email list. Because we also send newsletters out.
Yes.
Okay? Not weekly, but sometimes.
And we're looking forward to really going into the next year with like a lot of new projects and ideas. So we're really excited for that. So, yeah. So, if you like this episode, as usual, share it with your mother, share it with your cousin, share it with a coworker, sister, brother, whoever.
A soldier.
A veteran.
Hey,
veteran.
Okay.
Yo.
Put it on out there, everywhere. Kids. Anybody can watch this episode, okay? Happy Veterans Day, belated.
Yes.
Shout out to all the soldiers who are serving. We see you. We feel you. But I'm glad I ain't you. I'm just playing.